Hey everyone, welcome back to Our Liberty House. Once again, I'm Lucas, and this is the third installment of our seed starting video. Exciting day. We're going to be up potting, showing you guys how we do that and what plants are ready to be up potted. And we're also going to move our greenhouse out to the patio and give us some more room to start hardening things off. Let's get going. Okay, as you can see, they are starting to outgrow the greenhouse a little bit and definitely, competing for light because there's 2 tomatoes per pot. So what we're gonna do is definitely up pot all these into their own individual pots, and then the peppers will be all right. You think a lot of times you buy them in 6-packs. So these peppers are good. They don't need to be up potted yet. This is the start of week 6 for all of these plants. So that's about what they should look like, 2 to 3 more weeks in a greenhouse environment before we put them into the ground. And we're going to move this greenhouse outside into our patio to start getting the plants a little bit used to cooler temps, but it has a zip, we can zip it up and keep it warmer at night, keep them protected. All right, the greenhouse got moved outside, and now we'll show you what we're gonna up pot. So, this black crim is looking awfully leggy. He's been probably fighting for light. They're indeterminate vining type tomatoes, so they'll do this. But what we'll do, just up pot them into a bigger pot, bury them, let them grow, and get bigger, stockier stems. But the stuff like these peppers don't need to be up potted yet, or possibly ever until we plant them. They'll do fine. They just are a lot slower growers than the tomatoes. So we'll move over to our potting bench and we'll start up potting all these tomatoes. All right, with the nightshades like tomatoes and tomatillos, you can see they have these furs or hairs on their stem, and those will grow additional roots as soon as you bury them. It just gives us a bigger root structure, healthier plants, and they'll be able to absorb more water and nutrients. We'll trim these leaves off and bury them deep. All right, so I use these square pots. They seem to just fit a lot better in the trays. And they're 5.5-inch square pots. They're really deep, so it gives us plenty of room to be able to bury these. And they'll live in these until we transplant them in the garden. And we use like a raised bed, just bagged potting mix, or a raised bed soil. And it's gonna do 2 things. It's gonna get your plants more used to growing in an environment that they're going to grow in once you transplant them, and it's also going to save you money because you don't really need the seed starting mix for established seedlings. So definitely gets them more oriented and saves you money, so it's a plus. So I'm just going to start with a little bit of soil in here. I like to have a tray, and we'll have to make new tags because you're splitting them now. And we'll just, you can reuse this soil. You can see we've got good root growth all the way down to the bottom. Big benefit of bottom watering is it does force them to grow leaves down. So you just want to grip, and we'll just separate them like so. Now we have 2 tomato plants. You can put one down, and then we'll get ahead of it here and just trim those 2 off. And this part is kind of trial and error because you want to see. All right, so that one should go deeper. Just pull a little bit out. Okay, so you can see here how deep that's going to get buried. just take a scoop. This is all just raised potting mix. Pack it down. You can even, this one I'm going to cut this off because it's going to sit in the soil and just open it up to disease. But now you've transplanted one tomato and you took something that looked really leggy and now it looks really small, but it'll just make it healthier, stronger for when you do go to transplant. And we'll just want to give these a really heavy watering after you transplant them, because you can see these probably needed a little water to start. So we'll water these and just let them sit, and we'll keep going through. Do this other one quick. This one wasn't as leggy. It's still gonna get buried nice and deep. And you don't have to be terribly gentle with these. They're pretty resilient. You don't have to totally baby them, but I mean, you just can't be too rough. These are pretty resilient, so. All right, and we'll write black Crim 24. There we go. And now we have a bunch more to do. We're going to do the rest of these, and I'll check in with you guys when we're done and we have them all up potted, and kind of what we're going to do with the greenhouse going forward. Okay, that's it. That's the main focus of this video today, is really just getting all these tomatoes up potted into bigger, pots that they're going to live in until it's time to put them in our garden. We ended up with 49 tomatoes and tomatillos, which is way more than we need. And we'll probably put about half of these in that greenhouse, that we showed you earlier in the video that we moved outside. And we checked on it this morning, and it's like super condensated and looked really warm in there. And they're getting great morning natural light to really start that hardening off process. The rest of them, we're going to try something a little different this year. Maybe leave them out in the garden with a little shade over them to start hardening them off earlier. So when you're starting your seeds, you want to really look at starting to up pot them, for week 4, 5, and 6, and those depending on how leggy they're getting and, the space you have and you need. It's definitely too early here in Zone 9B in Sacramento to get these actually in the garden. We really need consistent 70+ degree days and 50+ degree nights. That's why we'll keep most of them in the greenhouse, which is a warmer environment, and the other ones we'll cover and try to keep some of that heat in there in the nights. That's a wrap for the third installment of our seed starting video. Be sure to check out the other two to see how we got here to begin with. If that's something you're interested in doing this year or next year in seed starting, please hit that thumbs up, give us that like button, and subscribe to this channel. It really helps us out, and we'll see you for more seed starting in 2 weeks, when we'll really talk about hardening these off and preparing to get them into your garden for the summer growing season.